Action.
Tyrese Haliburton trying to take Cleveland's heart.
The backpedal, a three for the win, and he got it!
And Tyrese Haliburton says, Reggie, you see me? We just did it.
The Pacers with a chance to win it. Haliburton looking. Haliburton driving, pulls off, jump shot. It's good! It's good! With 0.3 of a second remaining.
Tyrese Haliburton's 2025 playoff run was one of the craziest of all time, winning over millions of fans around the world and establishing himself as one of the brightest young stars in this league. But what if I told you the craziest part about all of this is actually how he got here? His story. Because truthfully, me and you, we shouldn't even know who Tyrese Haliburton is. The date is February 29, 2000, a leap day, one that only comes around every 4 years. And John and Brenda Haliburton have just welcomed their second son Tyrese into the world. Born in Oshkosh, a relatively small town on the outskirts of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Tyrese was introduced to basketball from the moment he could walk. His father, a coach at the time, made sure a ball was always within reach. And naturally, Tyrese fell in love with the game. More specifically though, he fell in love with a young rookie out of Cleveland, Ohio.
Like any kid born in 2000, LeBron was my favorite player growing up.
LeBron James with no regard for human life.
As soon as he was old enough, Tyrese began playing organised basketball. He got involved with local youth leagues and AAU teams. He was tall, had a funky jump shot, and an uncanny knack for passing the ball. That's probably because his father John would frequently sit him down to watch tapes of the great Magic Johnson. And as a result, Tyrese learned from a young age that basketball wasn't just about scoring. It was about anticipation, seeing the game before it happened, and making his teammates better. It's fair to say the game came easy. He dominated at middle school and in local youth leagues. But at age 14, Tyrese learned a hard lesson, which would shape the rest of his basketball journey. His first ever AAU team, the Wisconsin Playground Warriors, a team that he'd been a part of since he was 11 years old, which actually happened to be led by Tyler Hero and his father Chris, essentially cut Tyrese from the team. For in his words, not being good enough. Tyrese was devastated, quote, pissed at the world. Because for those who don't know, AAU basketball is essentially a gateway to exposure, as unlike high school ball, which varies depending on what district you're in, AAU brings together the best players from whatever state you're based in. In some cases, you'll play teams from other states, and tournaments will often attract college recruiters, sometimes even NBA scouts. So if you're vying for a college scholarship, AAU is really a must. Hence, after being cut, Tyrese decided to join another AAU team. This time, a team based an hour and a half away in Milwaukee, Wisconsin United. But little did Tyrese know, things were about to get even worse. Because during his first practice with his new team, head coach Brian Jonikin, better known as Coach B, tried to fix his unusual shooting form, which had an extremely low release point.
When I was younger, I had to you catch it and you got to dip to your waist little kids and stuff. It was always like that.
His new coach, and I quote, tried tinkering with his new guard's shot angle by using his 3-year-old grandson as a defender. Jonikin asked the boy to hold out his hand while Haliburton shot. Haliburton's release was so low that the preschooler blocked it. Tyrese left the practice in tears, quote, so embarrassed by what was going on. And honestly, at this point, most kids would have tapped out. After all, being told you're not good enough and being humiliated in the space of a couple of weeks is enough to shatter a kid's confidence into 1,000 pieces. But Tyrese, he did something not many at that age would have done. He got up. He turned that sting and humiliation into fuel. And instead of shying away, he showed up again and again and again. He worked on his weaknesses, his release.
And it was a reality check. I got a new AU coach, Coach B. We used to do mic and drill all day. When I say all day, y'all probably think I'm playing
his footwork, his handles.
Doing ball handling drills, then we play, we do shooting drills.
And slowly but surely rebuilt his confidence.
He really changed my life, and he made me feel really comfortable being a point guard. That kind of took away from the dip of my jump. Now if you pass to me here, I know I can just release it.
By his junior year, all that extra work was starting to show. He was dominating for Oshkosh North High School. He continued to develop under Coach B at Wisconsin United and finally received a call he'd been waiting for. His first scholarship offer from Northern Iowa, a university roughly 4 hours from Oshkosh. But here's the thing, Tyrese was good. Really good. But to make it to the NBA, really good isn't good enough. Every year in America, approximately 500,000 boys will play high school basketball. Of those 500,000, roughly 6,000 will play Division I college basketball. And of those 6,000, roughly 45 will be drafted into the NBA. And truth be told, Tyrese's plan to make it to the NBA was downright delusional. It really was. I mean, he was a 0-star recruit. He wasn't ranked. He wasn't on ESPN's top 100 list. Nobody knew who he was. No one from Oshkosh, Wisconsin had ever played NBA basketball, and he was set to attend Northern Iowa University, a Division I, albeit mid-major school that had produced 0 NBA players. Tyrese Haliburton had no business, and I mean no business, playing NBA basketball. But then, one day, during his senior year of high school, the entire trajectory of his life changed.
So I had all mid-majors going into my senior year. And then my last AU tournament, we played against Team Rio, who at the time had Scotty Lewis. I think he's on the Hornets now, and a kid named Brian Antoine, but they were both like 5 stars. Ball His Life was following him around. And they playing us in bracket play, and I cooked them. And I got
torched
off. Oh, and it was like every coach in the country was there. That's when like Iowa State offered me right after, Nebraska offered me right after, Cincinnati, Minnesota shortly after.
In the blink of an eye, Tyrese had gone from attending a mid-major school to Iowa State. Now, by no means is Iowa State considered a basketball powerhouse. They're nowhere near programs like Duke, Kentucky, and Kansas where lottery picks cycle through each year, but it's a respected program. They play in the Big 12 Conference, one of the toughest leagues in college basketball, and the school had at the time at least produced some NBA talent. So for Tyrese, this was massive because he now had a legitimate path to the NBA. It was a narrow path still, but it was there.
I remember my dad pulling me aside, my dad and Coach B pulling me aside when they dropped me off at school, and they were like, just find the hardest worker and do everything he does and try to do more.
A testament to the work he did put in, Tyrese started all but one game his freshman season and quickly made a name for himself, first and foremost as a reliable defender and shooter. He wasn't the strongest, he wasn't the fastest or the flashiest, but what he did have was an insanely high basketball IQ, a unique pace to his game, and an ability to make everyone around him better.
I would say the first stamp I got, we played Kansas, our first conference game or second conference game at the crib. And I remember Bill Self going through the handshake line was like, you could play anywhere in the country. And I was like, wow, because again, coming into the year, nobody even knew who I was.
Despite starting the entire season at shooting guard, Tyrese joined Zion Williamson as the only freshman in college basketball history to record 125 assists, 50 blocks, and 30 steals in a single season, including 17 assists in one game, an Iowa State record. Nevertheless, some scouts still had him going undrafted.
Let's say it was 60 scouts. It was like 20 say that you're gonna be a first round pick, 20 said I was gonna be a second round pick, and 20 said I was gonna be undrafted.
So he returned for his sophomore season, and this time, he wasn't the new kid on the block. This time, it was his team. Tyrese averaged 15, 6, and 6 on the year, had a huge 22-point, 12-rebound, 10-assist triple-double against TCU, shot 50% from the field, 41% from 3, and averaged 2.5 steals a game.
From there, I was like, I'm going to the league after this year.
Just like that, he shot up the rankings and was taken 12th overall in the 2020 NBA draft. And from day one, Tyrese made it clear. He wasn't here to fit in. He was here to make a name for himself.
Step back 3 on the way. Foul! Count it! Let's go for 4! Welcome to California!
Tyrese finished 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting that first year, behind only LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards. But it was during his second season that Hallie took things to another level entirely, because in about mid to late December of 2021, the Kings had a massive COVID-19 outbreak. De'Aaron Fox, their number 1 option, was out, Alex Lem was out, Terrence Davis, Marvin Bagley, even their head coach was in health protocols. So Tyrese, he got his chance. A chance to prove that he wasn't just a good second or third option, but that he could put a franchise on his shoulders. And in the NBA, these opportunities come few and far between. The league moves fast. Some players never get a chance to prove themselves capable. But Tyrese grabbed that opportunity with both hands.
Oh, Haliburton, another blow by to the rim. Tyrese Haliburton.
A deep 3 by Haliburton. What'd you think? What did you think was going to happen?
In that 2 to 3 week stretch, he showed the league exactly what he was made of. Stringing together 20-point double-doubles, orchestrating the offense with poise beyond his years, and then a statement game. A career-high 38 points against Philadelphia.
Oh! Splash down! Tyrese!
Tyrese Haliburton had arrived. And yet, just months later, he was reminded of an all-too-familiar feeling.
Have some breaking news to bring to you out of the sports world. Less than 30 minutes ago,
the Kings have announced the trade of Tyrese Haliburton along with Buddy Hield and Tristan Thompson. They are going to the Indiana Pacers for Domantas Sabonis and 2 other guys.
Stunned. I think Tyrese Haliburton was stunned, Malika. The league is stunned at this trade.
We getting that call, it was like the first time probably since like high school. It was the first time I felt like unwanted.
In February of 2022, Tyrese was shipped to Indiana, an organization that at the time was 13th in the Eastern Conference and in the middle of a rebuild that had little to no direction.
It was a lot of anger. I was angry at everybody. Like, nobody talked to me, you know? I wanted to be part of the group with like Fox and those guys to be like, we were the ones who turned this around. And again, just so much anger that I'm having to like suppress and not show.
Welcome to Indiana.
Yeah,
what has the last couple days been like for you?
It's been a whirlwind. It's been crazy, a lot of emotions, but I'm excited to be here and excited to get started.
However, it was also an opportunity because there was no De'Aaron Fox in Indiana. There was nobody that Tyrese had to defer to. For the first time in his life, Tyrese Haliburton was the guy. He was 1A.
At the end of the day, although Sac got rid of me, Indy's happy to have me. I'm being looked at to take game-winning shots, and like, I ain't never been looked at to do that in my life. Sac, I remember things got bad. I just passed to Fox. I go to the corner. Now it's like they doing that to me.
Here's Tyrese for the three.
Oh, baby!
Hit the Haliburton throws it down.
This is unbelievable just watching this kid do this thing right now. Ladies and gentlemen, there's only 2 players in the NBA that are averaging 25 points and 10 assists a game. Haliburton's one.
The guy can handle the ball, he can finish at the rack, he can shoot the three, he can pull up a mid-range.
The way he's able to keep the pace, the way he's able to close these games.
Haliburton's jump shot so ugly,
no,
like
it's quirky.
And it's like you're like thinking, no. And then you just watch it go up, you're like, damn.
Now, this is probably the most intriguing part of Tyrese Haliburton's career. These next 2 years, from 2022 to 2024. Because during Hallie's initial run with the Pacers, you would have been hard-pressed to find a Tyrese Haliburton hater. He was a young, happy-go-lucky kind of guy who played the game the right way. Quite frankly, I think a lot of people felt the Kings did him dirty, and as a result, a lot of positive press came his way. The media loved him, fans loved him, he was playing good basketball on a losing team, which meant he wasn't really beating anyone's favourite team on a nightly basis. It was just an all-around feel-good story. And then the sentiment surrounding Tyrese Haliburton began to shift. For me personally, I believe that shift came after the Pacers made the Eastern Conference Finals in 2024. Suddenly, expectations changed. The microscope grew sharper, and every weakness became amplified. The focus shifted from what he could do to what he couldn't do. We began comparing him to the Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, Jason Tatums of the world, and well, Haliburton's game doesn't always look flashy. He doesn't put up huge numbers, his shot isn't aesthetic, and he doesn't possess the kind of jaw-dropping athleticism that a lot of these other stars do. His game is subtle. You see, in the modern NBA, the term point guard is often just thrown around, a label usually just given to a team's best scorer or best player. But Tyrese Haliburton is a throwback to what the position has traditionally been, a true point guard, someone who controls the pace of the game, sort of like a point guard controlling a chessboard. He can score when he needs to, but his brilliance lies in making his teammates better, turning smart decisions into wins, and it's hard to quantify that sort of stuff. Easy to overlook, which brings us to 2025 and that now infamous overrated player poll, where Tyrese was voted by his contemporaries the most overrated player in the NBA.
You've told us before here, 2 Online, did you see the anonymous player poll that came out today?
I did.
What was your reaction to that, and did it at all impact the way you played today?
It didn't impact the way I played today at all. I don't have a big speech or comment on it. I mean, all I care about is his locker room and winning games.
Now, even though Tyrese has brushed this aside as something he doesn't really care about, one can only imagine it must have been a bit of a gut punch. Because this wasn't the media, it wasn't fans trolling on Twitter, this was his peers, the players he competes against night in and night out. But if there's been one constant in Tyrese Haliburton's life, disrespect, rejection, setbacks, it doesn't get him down. If it does, he gets up pretty damn quick. From that point, it only fuels him. And fuel him, it did.
I think that everybody kind of received that as like an indictment on them. Okay, well, if you think that guy is overrated, what do you feel about us?
4 seconds. Haliburton for the lead. And the Pacers are moving on.
Because what followed was one of the greatest playoff runs we've ever seen.
Tyrese Haliburton trying to take Cleveland's heart.
The Indiana Pacers put up an 80 spot on the Cavs.
A run so improbable that almost nobody saw it coming.
He'll backpedal a 3 for the win.
And just when we all thought it was over, with the odds stacked literally impossibly against them, they did it again.
Haliburton looking. Haliburton driving, pulls up, jump shot. It's good! It's good! With 0.3 of a second remaining.
And by that point, all you could do was sit back and enjoy the show.
Points, throws it away. Haliburton comes up with it. Cross court, Siakam for the slam.
The Indiana Pacers, a team that was 80-1 to win the NBA championship during the regular season, took one of the greatest regular season teams of all time to 7 games. They were 48 minutes away from pulling off what probably would have been the biggest upset in the league's history.
Haliburton hits again, his third three-pointer already.
It never felt like we were gonna die. It felt like no matter what, like it was destiny for us to win.
And then it happened.
Caught the ball. I kind of go to shot fake and Shea kind of raises up. And when I go to take a step, I feel it.
Good contest from Dort. Haliburton falls down. He looks hurt. Here comes SGA the other way. Inside, and Williams throws it down.
And then as I was going down, I was like, oh, like I know exactly what it is. This is what they've talked about.
Haliburton's hurt right away when he fell.
It's not like the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. I think it was more the general shock and I guess mental pain of it all, that happened in that moment,
What happened with Tyrese is just all of our hearts dropped, but he will be back.
I think everybody in life, you go through something, you just got to figure a way to get through it. And this isn't the end, bro. I'm going to fight like hell to get back and hopefully have this opportunity to win a championship again.
Tyrese Haliburton may not have won a championship, but as Brian Windhurst said on ESPN at season's end, he did win something. He won over millions of new fans in every single corner of the globe.
For one, Hallie!
He won over the respect of every single player, every single coach, every single analyst, and proved without a shadow of a doubt that he belongs on the world's biggest stage. In just 8 years, Tyrese Haliburton has gone from a kid who had absolutely no right playing professional basketball to someone who is redefining what it means to be a modern point guard. Now, when something like this happens, there's pretty much only 2 ways you can look at it. You can view it as a setback and it will likely set you back, or you can view it as a chance to grow, a chance to work on your weaknesses and refine your strengths, to come back even stronger. And if we've learned one thing about Tyrese Haliburton, we know exactly what the hell he's going to do.